Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Things Brunswick. Once again tonight, we have Dan with us. We missed
back.
you.
Well, I was here last week. I just was remoted in
Yeah,
instead
but
of
I like it
coming
when
in.
you're here.
Aw, I feel so honored right now. Well, I was a little under the weather last week, and I didn't want to spread it to anyone. So now I'm just dealing with some allergies. So if I'm a little nasally, just put up with it.
Well, we are happy that you're here. Unfortunately, Bill is not with us this evening. He had another obligation. And hi, Bill. We miss you.
Yeah. Well, you miss him. I don't. No, I'm kidding, Bill. I kid. Bill who?
You're bad. And once again, we have Greta with us. Greta, yay! Without her, I don't think that we could function.
No, we couldn't.
She and TK keep us together for sure.
Absolutely. They do all the hard work. We just sit here and talk.
Yeah. We have a great show this evening, folks. We have a guest with us who is, to me, an important part of our community. She is the chair of the library board. Is that correct, Patricia?
Well, actually, no.
Okay, let me just introduce her, and then she can tell me exactly what her position is. Please welcome Patricia Dew.
Hi there. Thanks for inviting me. Yes, I'm Patricia Dew. I am library director for Brunswick County Library.
There we go. Yeah, I knew I was going to say that wrong. Anyway, libraries are my heart. Okay. Books are my heart. I love them. I read constantly. I have a feeling in our community that a lot of people have not gone back to the libraries since COVID.
Raising my
so I think that what I'm wanting to do this evening is to have Patricia tell us where our libraries are in the county and what they have to offer, first of all.
Well, certainly, yes. Libraries, they are a vital part of the community. And when we had to shut down during COVID, it hurt a lot of people, not just for the entertainment part of reading, but I don't think everybody in the community realized how much of the lifeblood it is. For some people, it's the only place to get internet access. If they can't afford subscriptions to Hulu and Netflix and all those, we offer DVDs. And if the libraries are shut down, you're cutting off that venue.
Right.
So it was not a good thing that we had to shut down the libraries, but I mean,
it was necessary.
We all understand why they were shut down. How long were you guys shut down for?
Completely closed. A few months. I have to admit that the past 2 years have been a blur. My sense of time is a little warped. It was several months. I also just came on as director in January of this year. So was not here in Brunswick County managing that. So I don't, I don't know the exact answer. A few months. Yep. Libraries opened back up fully in 2021 for a certain value of fully. Still some restrictions and all that. At this point, though, we're as open as we can be. Anyone is welcome to come by a library. We're open 9 to 6 Monday through Friday. Saturdays 9 to 1 at 4 out of our 5 locations.
That's great. Now, where are these locations?
Sure. We have 5 branches throughout Brunswick County. We're trying to cover the county as best we can. It's not perfect, but we've got them spread out. Our branches are in Leland. We have the Harper Library in Southport, the Barbie Library in Oak Island, the Rourke Library in Shallotte, and our Southwest Brunswick branch down in Carolina Shores.
Awesome. That's great. Now, besides the internet and obviously books, what are some of the other things that your libraries offer?
Libraries offer so much. Let me just start with some of the things that people might already know about, like story times, programs for the young readers to get them introduced to books, to reading, to those early literacy skills. Each of our locations offers story times for the youngest preschool crowd every week. You can find those dates on our library calendar online. And of course, during the summer, we're offering the summer reading program to prevent that summer slide, keep those literacy skills up, keep the kids ready to go back to school and keep on learning. So I think a lot of people know about those programs, but there's also programs and events for adults. We have crafts that go on. We have lifelong learning. There are book clubs. Pretty much if you're interested in it, you can find something happening about it at the library. Or maybe you didn't even know you were interested. The lifelong learners feature new topics every month, and that does meet down at our Barbie branch in Oak Island. But of course, anyone's welcome to come throughout the county. It's free.
What is that exactly?
Lifelong learners, they pick different topics and have speakers come in, and they may read about it, then watch a video, have the speakers. It varies.
Great.
But it's just a way to keep learning, to keep active, expand your horizons. You can travel with a book by, losing yourself in the world of imagination, or you can come to the library and learn about a place without visiting there. All kinds of opportunities there.
Do you do like continuing ed type classes or anything like that?
Not specifically continuing ed, not in the sense of I might one day turn this into my GED or associate's degree, but if you want to learn to play chess, learn to knit, there's probably a group that's going to do that. I have to admit, I cannot tell you every single event happening at every library branch because my brain would explode if I tried to keep that all inside my skull.
Yeah, one of the things I was telling Mary before we came on air, I used to teach at, when I lived up north at a local library. So I taught about 2 years off and on, a intro to computers for seniors. And it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of interesting things because they had never telling them what a mouse was. I mean, the best one, and I love this woman. She was all of 90 years old, had never touched a computer in her life. And to see her when I tried to show her how to use the mouse and all that, just light right up. It was wonderful, and I have fond memories of that. But there's a lot of things, like you mentioned, that happen at libraries that most people aren't really aware of. They think it's just a place to go and get books. Right. You talked about some of the things. Do you offer online books as well? Because that's something that I don't think a lot of people are aware of. Right.
There's so many people like, well, I've got a Kindle and I'm paying Amazon or I'm paying Audible for my subscription. You don't have to do that. I mean, I suppose you can if you want to, but every resident of Brunswick County gets a free library card. And with that library card, you've got access to ebooks and downloadable audiobooks. They're free. We've paid for them. Now, like any other bestseller, if it's the latest, greatest bestseller, there's probably a little bit of a wait list.
Sure.
But if you can wait a little bit, free, no subscription cost, no, getting that trial subscription and then trying to remember to cancel it before they do start charging you. It's absolutely free. In Brunswick County, we have access to books through apps called Libby. It's officially Libby by Overdrive to give it its full name. And those are where we get the majority of our ebooks there. We try and keep up with all the bestsellers. Where the Crawdads Sing has been on the bestsellers list for so long, I don't think it's ever going to come off.
No, I loved it.
It is.
Oh, I read the book and I saw the movie, but the book was better.
Yes. In addition to that, we have access to Hoopla, a different app for ebooks. That's a collection that's owned by the State Library of North Carolina that everybody in the state has access to with their local library card. So you still need a Brunswick County library card, but that's even more choices. And there's some really unique things out there. I tell people, just go browse around on Hoopla. You're going to find something that you didn't even know you wanted to read.
That is going to interest you.
Yes. A third option for our young readers is a service called NC Kids. It's also available to everyone in the state. You still need a library card, but that library card gives kids access to all the kids' books you could ever want. Free, no waiting, The state has funded that, and it's been a really great option for all the libraries in North Carolina. So each individual library system's not trying to buy these books and build a collection. We have access to it automatically just for being a resident here. It's pretty awesome. North Carolina as a whole is a great state to have a library card in.
I was very impressed. I have had my library card, I think, from the very first 6 months that I moved here.
I got mine within 2 weeks of moving here.
Yeah, that's been 20 years ago.
Well, you are a tad older than me, but we'll go with that. I'm going to get killed for that one, aren't I?
Yeah, you are.
I got to have a little fun here and there.
No, that's
I don't
okay.
have Bill here, so I got to pick on you.
That's okay.
Go ahead. You want me? So you brought up getting a library card. I guarantee you there's people out there that are wondering, how do I get a library card? So why don't you?
Sure. Library card's pretty darn easy. We need to see a photo ID because we need to know who the heck you are. And we need to know that you live, work, or own property in Brunswick County. So that your driver's license covers that for most people. But if you're a brand new resident, as soon as you get something in the mail that's got your new address on it, maybe it's your lease agreement, maybe it's your fishing license, whatever that's got that address that shows that you're living in Brunswick County, come on into a library. Once you come in that one time, staff will get you your library card. You, because of all the online resources, don't ever technically have to set foot in the library again and can still use a wealth of resources from the library. We'd, of course, love to see you in the library, but you don't have to.
There's kind of a nice atmosphere at the library. But it's not just the quiet.
I had to go there.
No. If you have not been in a library in 20 years and you're expecting something where you get shushed by little old ladies with their hair in buns and that no one speaks, you have not been in a library. No. Libraries are vibrant places.
Yes.
And yes, we're still quiet places, but you don't have to feel like you walked into a tomb. And if you come in on a story time morning, there's going to be toddlers running around having the time of their life. You may come in when the knitting club has just gotten out and they're not quiet when they leave.
Well played on that one.
So we welcome you all to come to the library. We even have there, once upon a time, it was no cell phones in the library because cell phones are evil in libraries. Well, no, you need your cell phone. I've totally helped people on the computer who were trying to sort out whatever it was, and they've got the phone on their ear talking to whomever while on the computer trying to figure out why their form application thing won't submit, and that's fine.
They kind of go hand in hand.
And we're here to help. I mean, the computers are a big thing. We don't currently offer the computer classes. We don't quite have the staff or the space to do that currently, but we're there to help. Our library staff will help you. Why won't this job application submit? How do I pull up my tax forms? 1,000,001 questions a day, and we will gladly help you with all of them.
And it is such a great place for any type of question.
Oh, they're a community resource and one that's underused, I feel. I've been a huge fan of libraries. I remember as a 6 and 7 year old, this is how old I am, riding my bike to the library like every week, pulling out a book or two. And, just you get to know the librarians because in my case, I was there all the time. And they would say, hey, why don't you try this book? And that was the beauty of it for me as a child, from the time, like I said, I was 6, 7 up till I graduated high school. I learned a lot because they would say, hey, if you like that book, try this one.
Exactly.
And that kind of thing. And it opened my horizons up and allowed me to read things that I would never have thought of reading. No. I mean, I'm a big history buff. I always joke about, I read literally every history book the library had, I think at one point or another. This is 45 years ago, 50 years ago. But I learned a lot that way. And it was, the librarians in particular, I remember a couple of them vividly. Helpful. Yeah, they're so helpful. And, they get to know you. And they're a great resource for anyone.
Yes.
And one that I personally think is underutilized.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
Absolutely. I'm the same way. As a child, it was my favorite place. I like the smell of it. And this is weird. I try
books
not
have
to
a smell.
They do have a smell. Yes, they do.
And I love it. It's like going into Books a Million. You just get caught up in the smell of new books. But the library has the smell that's in the library is kind of like, I have knowledge. I just absolutely love it. I must tell you, I am a trustee on your board, and I am proud to be that. I would like to just mention one other library that not a lot of people are aware of. When I was a commissioner in the city of Boiling Spring Lakes, I started our library commission, and we now have a small library in our city hall, and it is free and it is open to the public. So anybody in Boiling Spring Lakes can go and pick up a couple books. All you have to do is sign them out. And it does not offer the things that our main libraries in the county offer, but it's a start.
Yes. I know of many neighborhoods and communities have the little free libraries.
We have that as well.
Yeah, like an oversized birdhouse full of books.
Yep.
And those are neat. They don't provide the services, and they don't have the librarians. And it can be hit and miss. Some of those collections are awesome, some not as much, but yeah, it's all books, it's all reading, and it's all part of the greater library community.
Exactly. We have a great committee in the city. They are all, very dedicated, wish to go forward with this process. And I mean, I know a lot of people in my community that are avid readers, and they are enjoying the fact that we do have that library.
The thing to keep in mind too, having that resource, especially right now with the economy the way it is, going out and buying a book. I remember when I was a kid, you could go buy a novel for a couple of bucks. Now you're $30, right?
It's terrible.
Yes.
And that's where I think libraries really shine, is they give you the ability to get books that you might not be able to afford. Now, you can check out a couple of different books. If you tried to go to, I don't even know the bookstores anymore because they're all closed at this point, but let's say Amazon, you might pay $60 for those 2 books and you're getting them absolutely free. I mean,
I can't afford that. The way I read, I could never buy
back
books.
in the day, I used to read 2 books a week. I no longer do that. I don't have the time, and I wish I did.
As we get older, the books get thicker too.
They seem to, yeah.
But I love them when they're thick.
Well, like my 2 favorite authors were Tom Clancy and Clive Cussler. So whenever a book came out from them, I would get the book that day, and I would, like you were mentioned earlier, I would read it cover to cover.
Oh, yeah.
And it might be 5 a.m. before I finished it. Those days are done for me. I'm too old. I can't stay awake that long anymore. But, having that resource of the library, people need to go out and utilize it more. I really do.
And you are not allowed just 1 or 2 books. You are allowed more. So it's like as someone who reads as quickly as some people do, if they just take a couple of books, I mean, they've got to make another trip.
Yes.
But they are allowed. Is there a certain number they're allowed to take?
Yeah. Each card is allowed to take out up to 25 books at a time.
Wow.
What? 25?
25.
I did not know
I
that.
never heard that one before. Wow.
Now you don't have to take that many, but you can.
But that's
How
incredible.
long are they allowed to take them for?
Most books check out for 3 weeks. Our
That's what I thought,
brand
3
new
or 4
ones, bestsellers, are only 7 days because other people want them too.
Right.
But the vast majority of our collection is 3 weeks, and you can renew it for another 3 weeks.
You can do that online.
Wow.
Too, right?
Correct.
That's great.
You can do it online. Yes.
You can read 25 books in 6 weeks. God bless you. I'm a fast reader, but I don't think I could do that.
I can.
You can?
I'm serious. I usually have 2
Not
going
Dr.
at one
Seuss,
time. No. I have my favorite I have my favorites.
We all have our favorite authors.
Yeah.
Of course.
Well, when I grew up in Maine. And of course, everybody's favorite in Maine was Stephen King.
Yeah,
And so
I like his movies. I don't care for his books.
I think I read everything he ever wrote, but I stopped because I found some other authors that I liked.
But it was like
better.
you had to read them, right? Because he
Well,
was from that area.
He was a friend of my aunt's, and every book that I got, he signed.
Oh, wow.
So, I read them. But I have found other authors, and where the crawdads saying, oh my gosh, that I couldn't put it down.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll tell you, a book is so much better than a movie. You do not get half of what you
Oh, you get a fraction.
You do not get half of what the author is trying to portray from a movie.
Mm-hmm.
You have to read the book.
Yep.
Do you have a favorite?
A favorite book?
No. Maybe
Lordy.
a favorite author?
I have a few. I do like Diana Gabaldon, the Outlander series, and the spin-offs from that. I enjoy her books and the historical fiction and all the just story writing goes into those. I also like Alison Weir and her nonfiction. She writes a lot about Tudor history.
Mm-hmm.
And I really enjoy her writing. She's also written fiction about the Tudor era. And her fiction's not bad. I still prefer her nonfiction, but I can recommend Alison Weir. And one of my favorite authors is deceased, but his name is Gary Jennings, and he wrote Aztec, Journeyer, Raptor, and a couple of others.
Yes. Yep.
Big fat historical fiction.
Yes. I know. I think, of course, as we get older, our preference changes. I find I get into the Amish. I want to know everything there is to know about the Amish, so I'm out there picking every book that has anything
Well,
to
the
do
library is a
with
great
the
resource for
Amish.
that, right?
I know. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
No matter what you want to read, what you want to find out about, go to the library. It's there.
Do you find like certain things tend to be checked out more? I know the bestsellers, but setting them aside, is there like a genre or anything that's in particular like you see more people gravitating towards?
Well, there's lots of those, because if there is a genre that someone's interested in, you can find it. There are Amish romances. There's Navy SEAL adventures. There's paranormal mysteries. Whatever genre or subgenre or sub-genre, there are books for them. So some of them, various things become trendy, but overall, no, there's books for everyone. Every reader has their book, every book their reader.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, for me, history was the big one for years and years and years. Biographies was another one. I tend to gravitate towards those. One of the things that I found in the past, and I wanted to just kind of ask you about, is if there's a particular book that your library doesn't have, like within the county, even like one library may have a book or another doesn't, you can always get that to transfer, correct?
Oh, yes. All of our 5 branches are they're different branches, but they're interchangeable. If you live up in Leland and for whatever reason, the only copy of a book happens to be down in Carolina Shores, no problem. Place a request. You can do that online, or a staff member can help you with it. And usually the next day, weekends not included, but usually the next day, your book will be there waiting for you to pick up. You'll get an automated notification that says your item is here, come pick it up.
Now, do you get your books in series, like like Outlander?
Well, the problem with the books written in series is the author doesn't write the whole series at once.
Exactly.
So we'll buy book 1, and then we'll buy book 2, and then we're all impatiently waiting for book 3 and 4. And I think Outlander's on 10 at this point, and we're all wishing she'd write faster.
I know.
George R.R. Martin at this point, I don't think he's ever going to finish Game of
We're
Thrones.
still waiting.
We're still
Yeah.
waiting. We want him to George
What's it
R. R.
been, like
Martin.
5 years since
If
the
you're
last one.
listening, please finish it.
Well,
We want
I
it.
think that he changed the name of the entire series. It's something else now, and it's gone kind of in another direction, but it's still. And I'm so sorry, I can't remember the name of it, but I have heard of it.
Yeah. Well, officially, the series is not called Game of Thrones.
Right.
HBO called it Game of
that's the-
Thrones.
Right.
I'm also drawing a blank on what the actual.
I
Trying to think of
know.
it myself right now.
I can't either, but I think maybe what he has continued with is the actual name.
I'm not sure. I know he was writing the one book to finish it, and it's
Yeah.
been at least 5-6 years,
Yes.
somewhere in that area.
But believe me, at the library, we know because our patrons are like, do you have the latest from whomever? You know, James Patterson, Danielle Steele,
Right.
Diana Gabaldon, whomever. They're anxiously awaiting. And we do our best to get them. I mean, we know when the popular authors,
Sure.
a new book is coming out. We order it as soon as we're able to.
Mhm.
Which I do know that some people are a little spoiled by Amazon because Amazon will let you pre-order something
Yes.
Yeah.
like a year before it actually
Mhm.
exists. The libraries don't quite have that ability. We do have, we're ordering physical books and paying for them
Mhm.
with purchase orders and things like that. So
Exactly.
we're not quite Amazon, but it's still, everything at the library is free. It's prepaid.
Yes.
I mean, I know people,
And convenient.
I know some people are like, I don't want to pay my taxes. What do I get for it? Well, at the library, honestly, at the bottom of your checkout receipt, it says that you saved $34.99 today or whatever the cost of the book is. We'll tell you what value you're getting, at least for the print materials.
Right.
We haven't even gotten into all the wonderful online resources and how there's all these subscriptions that you don't have to pay for because the library has paid for them already.
Hold that thought. We have to pay some bills, but
Nice
what
segue
an
there.
interesting conversation we are having. Folks, we will be right back.
Veteran Awareness sponsored by You Are Not Alone. Today's veteran homeless rate is approximately 19,750, and the numbers are declining because of the various veteran programs. If you or a veteran you know is homeless, please call 877-4AID-VET. This is a confidential and toll-free call. From this veteran to other veterans, please be there to help our brother and sister veterans. Again, the number is 1-877-424-3838. And thank you for your service.
Folks, you must visit Angie's Fresh Produce, 4447 Long Beach Road, Southport. Beautiful fresh produce at a great price. Angie's has just about every vegetable you want. In-store shopping and pickup, and all wheelchair accessible. Call Angie's Fresh Produce at 910-477-9068.
This show is also sponsored by Dr. Tony Maglione. Dr. Tony is a cardiologist practicing in Wilmington. He accepts Medicare patients, and his office is located across the street from New Hanover Regional Medical Center at 2032 17th Street. The office number is 202-1071. Dr. Tony is an author whose last book is Rules for Conservative Patriots, and it can be purchased on Amazon. His website is www.drtonymag.com.
Are you nervous about joining a gym? Anxious about not being able to keep up with others in the fitness classes? Full Circle Fitness has your solution. We specialize in working with those just getting started on their fitness journey. Our coaches tailor each workout to you and your level of ability, so you don't have to worry about keeping up. There's no better opportunity to get started. Call today, Full Circle Fitness, 910-399-8350, or visit FullCircleFitnessNC.com.
The Boiling Spring Lakes Motel, located at 2 North Shore, is a peaceful and convenient place to stay. Newly renovated rooms with a comfortable back porch welcomes everyone. Discount rates are available to those who might need more time. Close to the beach, everything you need for a fun vacation. Call Stephanie at 910-845-2893. Boiling Spring Lakes Motel.
It seems like every other store is now selling CBD in some form or another. But did you know that Wilmington has just one local CBD company? I'm talking about Carolina Pure. Family owned and operated, they are Wilmington's first and only CBD company that makes quality hemp products right here in town, including tinctures, topicals, and pet products. Their hemp is sourced from local farmers and they support area musicians and nonprofits. Check us out at carolinapureshop.com.
Welcome back, everybody, to All Things Brunswick. Our guest this evening is Patricia Dew. And what a great conversation we are having.
We are.
On libraries, and even our tech guy, TK, has a couple questions for her. Go ahead, TK.
If I may, I am extremely curious as to the use or continued use of the famous Dewey Decimal System, either in-house or for people like myself doing research.
So, yes, Brunswick County Library uses the Dewey Decimal System for our nonfiction materials. Most public libraries do. I won't get into the full academic reasons as to why we do. But the other system out there is the Library of Congress system of classification, and that is used more generally in academic libraries. I think there are a few public libraries that use it. But generally speaking, public libraries use the Dewey Decimal System. So what you learned back in elementary school, the zeros are generalities, 700s are arts, 800s are literature, 500s are science. All of that still applies and can help you locate materials in the library. Now, rather than card catalogs, we're computerized. So you can go to our online catalog, enter your search terms, your keywords, and find your materials that way.
Awesome. Another one, TK?
And the other question had to do with the actual handling of the materials. That's a lot of weight being moved around. I mean, a book is made of tree, so it's not very light. Do you have issues with trying to get it, finding a place to put it where it's not going to fall down or crush or...
Well, I mean, library shelving is a thing. Yeah, well, that is but it's also a thing that books are books. They do take up space. They do have weight. So yes, I mean, we have shelving to accommodate. We generally buy hardbacks in the libraries because they last longer, especially with multiple checkouts and being shipped around the county. But I do know that there are some people, some of our elderly patrons are like, that's just too heavy. I can't physically hold a 500-page hardback up anymore. So in that case, a paperback might be better. It's lighter. The print's usually smaller, so that's a downside. But ebooks and audiobooks are options as well. There are options out there for every reader. I've helped patrons who've had a stroke and are not physically able to read anymore. We've hooked them up with audiobooks.
Those are great.
Either book on CD or downloadables. Put it on your iPad or your phone and listen to the book. And that way it's still reading. You're just listening to it being read, which fires the exact same brain cells. The same neurons are activating as if you're reading the words on the page. So audiobooks totally count. It's still reading.
Do you think, now I will say personally, I like a book. Same thing with newspaper. I want a physical newspaper. I don't like e-reading.
Me
I
neither.
do it, but, and I have, I have a Kindle and all them. Are you finding more and more people are moving strictly to the e-type, or is there the dinosaurs like me?
And me.
You. That I want that physical,
I love
tactile
books.
book in my hands.
Yeah.
There's so many people who do both. They love holding that physical book, but if you're going on vacation or you're sitting in the doctor's office and it's 30 minutes past your appointment time and no sign of the doctor, if you've got that Kindle or your phone, you can be reading right then and there. If you're packing your suitcase and there's a weight limit, no, you can't bring enough books to last you for the week. Ebooks are a great solution to that.
The other advantage of an ebook too is, as we get older, you can make the print as big as you want it, which you can't with a book.
Do you have books with large print?
We do. We do have a large print collection. It's not as vast a collection as the regular print. Publishers don't always publish a large print version. Most publishers do. You're going to find your best sellers, but like if you're looking for the history books, you may or may not find what you're looking for in large print from your local library. Now, there is a great option via the state library. I mentioned North Carolina is really great for library card holders. The State Library of North Carolina has the Accessible Books Library Service. Anyone in the state can fill out a form, and your local library can give you that, and get free materials mailed to them from the state library. If you do need that large print, if you need the audio books, if you need, the state library actually records things like Our State Magazine, and you can get those. And it's free.
That's wonderful.
It's a great service that most people don't know about.
Yes.
Yeah, I wasn't aware of that. So, like, if there's certain magazines that you wanted to get, like the state magazine, or that would be available through that.
Right. You do have to register for the services. It's a form your librarian, library staff, whomever can sign and say, yes, this person, due to whatever reason, needs these materials, and the state library sets up your service. They even have readers advisors who work there. So if you say, okay, I've read every single Stuart Woods book, what should I read next? They'll help you find that next great book.
I know that the libraries have events, and I know that there must be some coming up very soon. Could you share some of those with us?
I will do my best to remember what's on the calendar, because I mentioned that there are tons and tons of events happening. One thing we do have coming up is we are participating in the NEA Big Read. And this year, the book is Homegoing. And I'm not going to try and pronounce the author's name because I apologize, I will mispronounce it, by Homegoing. But there's other books that are related to that topic that are very timely. One of them, geared towards younger readers, is called Crow. It's actually about the 1898 events in Wilmington. And the author of Crow, Barbara Wright, has local connections, and she's coming to speak on November 4th. So check our online calendar for more details about that. She'll be coming down to Carolina Shores to speak, but of course, everybody in the county is welcome. We also have Meet the Authors of 10 Little Reads, 10 Little Rules. Anyway, we had they're actually going to all around the county. We had our first one yesterday. So if you missed that one, check our events calendar and find another location to meet all those local authors and get to know them. Have a laugh, have a cry, all of it at the library. We're hoping to get Philip Gerard this winter.
Wow.
Yes. It's as part of the NEA Big Reads to talk about the Cape Fear region and our history, and some of it's nice history, some of it's not so nice, but it's all our history.
Very interesting.
It's interesting and important, and something that I hope everyone wants to learn more about and become involved with that. And I've mentioned our event calendar. I haven't actually said where it is. So online, our main website is brunswickcountync.gov/library. You can also find us on Facebook. So look for Brunswick County Library on Facebook, and you can see our events there. Most everything is also on Facebook. We don't put every single kids event on Facebook, or like every single story time, because we'd have nothing but story times on Facebook. But the calendar on the website, once you go to brunswickcountync.gov/library, you'll see our events calendar. The link's right at the top. Everything there. The kids events, grown-up events, author visits, teen book clubs, you name it. It's happening at your library.
And these happen at all of your libraries.
Yep.
That's great.
Yep. Each library has slightly different offerings. Although the 10 Little Rules authors, we are moving it. Same program, different days, each of the library branches, to make sure everyone in the county has an opportunity to come see and hear. But other things are unique to each library location. I like to think of our 5 branches as like siblings. We're all one family, but each one has a slightly different personality.
Right. Now you have programs also for pre-K. Is that introducing them to the library?
Right. Our story times, our weekly story times events are our main ones, and it's introducing them to libraries, to books, to reading, to pre-literacy activities. Because if you sing a little song and you're like, well, why is singing good morning to you? Why is that important? But that repetition of the words and of the rhythm and of learning language all builds literacy skills. Early story times, early reading, getting the parents and other adults involved in the reading is so important to that early literacy, to build the good foundation for education.
Yes.
Yeah, one of the things that I, as a parent, did with my kids, and I used the library for it in a lot of cases, was I had them all reading. Now, they weren't reading novels, but they were at some level of reading before they even went to school. And it paid off in huge dividends as they went through their school careers. And that's having a resource like the library with a pre-K program of that stuff. That's invaluable.
It's
and unfortunately, a lot of people don't take advantage of it. And if you take nothing away from this show, that alone, if you're a parent, take advantage of that. Because
my children had a special bedtime, but I allowed, after they went to bed, 30 minutes of reading.
Under the covers with the flashlight?
No.
That's what I used to do.
Before the lights were out, every night they read for 30 minutes before the lights went out. And to this day, my daughter loves to read.
You know, it's funny you say that, because one of the things that one of the best memories I have of my children growing up is my oldest daughter, who was 8 years older than my youngest one, reading to her before bed. Win-win there, right? Because the two of them are, she's reading to her, she's reading. It's a memory that I remember. I don't even know if they really remember it, because, Rebecca was all like 3 at the time.
Oh, Tammy does.
But it's just, it pays off huge when you start them that young.
She loved it. She said, Mom, at the time, I used to think, I need to be outside with my friends because they're allowed to stay out. But then she said, now I'm so happy that you insisted on that.
Yes.
Because she read, and she is a smart young woman.
And that's where libraries are invaluable, because they can assist with all of that.
And for the parents out there who do have kids who love to read, I mean, I don't remember this, but my mom tells me that there were times that she's had to say, put down the book and go to bed. Or put down the book and come to dinner.
Right.
Put down the book and go take your bath, whatever, as I wanted to read. But we went to the library probably about once a week to the public library, and my younger brother and I both came home with an armload of books, at least one of which we'd read in the car on the way home, and we're already done with it by the time we pulled in the driveway. But my parents could not have bought all those books.
No.
They would have been bankrupt.
Couldn't have. No. And don't you think that from reading, look at the knowledge that children get? My daughter taught herself to make baskets, and she taught herself to knit. and she taught herself to make little things. I mean, it just amazed me, and it was from reading.
It's funny because the current generation would go to YouTube for that.
I
I actually
know.
think you learn more by reading about it.
Oh,
I do.
yeah.
I would rather go to the library and look something up and find out about it that way than, I mean, I use YouTube, but you do get more depth, I think, with that.
You learn, and you're learning lessons even from the fiction books or from the biographies. You don't even know. The first book without pictures, like actual chapter book I read, I was given this book by Miss Nancy Scott. She was the children's librarian at my local public library. Dear woman. And she saw that I'd like read everything in the picture book type section. So she's like, all right, here, try this. She handed me this chapter book, which had no pictures, which I was like, what? But it was a kid's biography of Annie Oakley.
Oh, how neat.
And that was one of my favorite books because she didn't let the world tell her what she couldn't do just because she was a girl. and I felt that in my heart. And that was one of my favorite, it is one of my favorite books. It's still on my bookshelf. It is the most ratty paperback ever now, but I still own that book.
I have one of those.
Would you say that is your all-time favorite book?
It's one of my all-time favorites. You're asking me to pick a favorite book. I can't do that.
I have one. Mine's The Lord of the Rings. I've read cover to cover from The Hobbit all the way through, all 3 books, 27 times.
Are you kidding?
I read
27
it every
times.
single summer from 1975 until 2002 when the movies started coming out, and the movies ruined it for me.
Oh, I know.
But yeah, it was my summer read every summer for 27 years.
I read
and I still have somewhere, I don't know exactly where, my original copies that I got. I first learned about it in the library of all places. So one of the librarians said, hey, try this. It was The Hobbit. I got hooked, and then I don't know, it was probably 2-3 years later, I took it out of the library a couple times. I went and bought it, and I still have those books. And, I give all credit to the library because I would never have read those books probably.
Yeah. What would you like folks to know about the libraries tonight?
Well, one thing that I hinted at before we went to the commercial break was that there are online resources that people don't even know about.
Okay.
That it's free with your library card. There's language learning through a service called Transparent Languages. You don't have to subscribe to Duolingo and have that owl annoying you every day about your Duolingo whatever streak. You can go online for free and use Transparent Languages. If you're interested in genealogy, you have access to Ancestry through the library.
Wait a minute. We got to talk about this now because that is a big thing for me. The library has access to it?
We have Ancestry. That's one of our only databases. You do have to be physically in a library. Our subscription won't let you access it from home. You have to be in a library using our Wi-Fi or on one of our computers, but it's free.
Wow.
Guess who's going to the library?
See?
Yeah, because
I love it.
I'm big into my Ancestry, and it's not cheap.
It's not. And it's out there, and I don't think most people even realize it or even thought about it.
No.
In addition to that, we have a database called Heritage Quest, there's a lot of overlap because, well, census records are census records. But Heritage Quest, sometimes you'll find things that you didn't find on Ancestry. And Heritage Quest you can get from home. Just enter your library card number to say, yes, I'm a valid library card holder, and you're in and doing your research.
Nice.
If you need to build a resume, there's a free service that is actually free called Cypress Resume. I say actually free because I see so many people, they come in the library and they're like, I've got to have a resume to upload to this job site. They Google free resume writer, get a hit, type their resume in, then find out, oh, you want to save it, print it, or download? That'll be $9.99. Give me a credit card number. those are scams. I hate them because had they asked us, the library staff first, we would said, oh yeah, go to Cypress Resume. It is free. It makes a great basic resume to get your foot in the door and get you that job. It helps you out. And then I mentioned it's actually free. There's never a give me your credit card number at the end. Other free things everyone has access to: Consumer Reports. You need to find out about how to replace your washing machine, refrigerator, whatever broke this month. Consumer Reports, I don't know how much a subscription is, but we have access through the library. It's free with your library card.
Isn't that great?
New York Times, Wall Street Journal, you don't have to have that paywall. You can get the articles through the library. We also have Morningstar, Morningstar is for investments, for mutual funds, ETFs, and some other financial thing that I am not an expert on, and I don't pretend to be, but I will gladly point everyone to Morningstar to let them figure out how it works. My money sits in a 401k and pretty much just sits there, but I'm not the expert.
Well, I cannot tell you how wonderful this program has been and how knowledgeable for our audience.
Oh, yes.
We're going to have to take another short break to pay some bills, and then we are going to come back just for a few minutes. I swear I could talk to you all night.
You say that every week, too.
I
You need to
know,
expand,
but
I think.
oh my goodness, this is
But
so
this is a very interesting topic, yes.
It is. Okay, so I guess we'll have to pay some bills, and then we'll be back. Marine Service Pro and the Tackle Box Seafood, located at 8210 River Road, Southport, is open Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, with the Tackle Box open Monday through Saturday, 7 to 6. Marine Service Pro is a full Suzuki and Tohatsu dealership. They deal in pre-owned boats, full service and repair, with certified technicians in all engines, and fiberglass specialists. The Tackle Box offers fresh, local seafood, live bait, a tackle shop, and fish packing and shipping. They also offer a full-service U-Haul dealership. Spend time with Leon or Jenny for one-stop shopping at Marine Service Pro and the Tackle Box Seafood, 8210 River Road, Southport.
Veteran Awareness sponsored by You Are Not Alone. Today's veteran homeless rate is approximately 19,750, and the numbers are declining because of the various veteran programs. If you or a veteran you know is homeless, please call 877-4AID-VET. This is a confidential and toll-free call. From this veteran to other veterans, please be there to help our brother and sister veterans. Again, the number is 1-877-424-3838. And thank you for your service.
The Boiling Spring Lakes Motel, located at 2 North Shore, is a peaceful and convenient place to stay. Newly renovated rooms with a comfortable back porch welcomes everyone. Discount rates are available to those who might need more time. Close to the beach, everything you need for a fun vacation. Call Stephanie at 910-845-2893. Boiling Spring Lakes Motel.
This show is also sponsored by Dr. Tony Maglione. Dr. Tony is a cardiologist practicing in Wilmington. He accepts Medicare patients, and his office is located across the street from New Hanover Regional Medical Center at 2032 17th Street. The office number is 202-1071. Dr. Tony is an author whose last book is Rules for Conservative Patriots, and it can be purchased on Amazon. His website is www.drtonymag.com.
Folks, you must visit Angie's Fresh Produce. 4447 Long Beach Road, Southport. Beautiful fresh produce at a great price. Angie's has just about every vegetable you want. In-store shopping and pickup, and all wheelchair accessible. Call Angie's Fresh Produce at 910-477-9068. Back, everybody, to All Things Brunswick. This hour has gone by so quickly, and it has been so informative. But I know that you have another
I have
question.
a question. You're going to like this one.
All right.
To all the young people out there,
Mm.
if they wanted to become a librarian, how do you become a librarian?
All right. So, like reading and read a lot is a good start, but to actually be a what I call capital L librarian, you actually have to have a master's degree in library science or in library and information science. The name of the degree varies institution to institution, but it's a master's degree. And I don't
Really?
think most people know
I
that.
had no idea.
Now, to be a little L librarian, to just work in a library, an associate's degree or a bachelor's degree is fine. And that could actually really be in anything, but having that love of books, that interest in reading, and a willingness to work with people and help people and make those connections about books, that is what it takes to work in a
I
library.
never knew you needed a master's degree. Wow.
I think I kind of did.
Did you?
because,
I was always, it was something I always joked about. I'm going to become a librarian. Well, my accounting degree is probably not going to cut it then.
You could
Well,
start
I'm-
working in a library.
I could
and
work in one, but
then go get your master's, and then you become
Yeah,
a capital
no.
L librarian.
I'm
What?
just in awe of a librarian.
well, people don't
Because
realize that.
I
how much
feel
you
like
guys
that
do. Yeah.
person knows
They are. They're like,
so
yes,
very
they are.
much.
I
Yeah.
agree with you on that. They're
Yeah.
like a font of knowledge.
Yes.
Now I know why. Right? But yeah, I wanted to ask that question because there might be people out there that are interested in becoming one.
Exactly.
And there's those stereotypes, but they're
Well,
not really.
I would like Patricia to give some final words on Brunswick County Libraries and the use of before we leave this evening. And I cannot thank you enough for coming. It has been a pleasure.
Well, Mary, thank you so much for inviting me. And I would like to invite everyone to visit their Brunswick County Library, whichever branch is closest to you, or to use our online resources, or use our meeting rooms for your local group to meet, come to a story time, come to an author event. I just invite everyone to come to the library and to use it. It's your library. We are here for the citizens of Brunswick County. It's already been paid for. You might as well use it.
Yes. Is there something that our audience can do to enhance the library other than spread the word of all the obvious value it has to our community?
Well, spreading the word is always great, but we have Friends of the Library. It's the library equivalent of a PTA, but the Friends of the Library are volunteers who work to support the library, to raise awareness of the library, to do fundraising, to buy those extra things that might not be in the county budget. I think of it as that our county budget provides the cake. The Friends of the Library, through their support, provides the icing and the sprinkles on top.
Nice.
Great way to put it.
Yes, and I have heard of them. In fact, we have several ladies in my community that are Friends of the Library. So now, one other quick thing before we go. Does the library do book sales?
Yes, there are ongoing book sales year-round at each of our library branches or adjacent to it. Southport, the Harper Library, actually, their book sale happens up the street in a separate building. But for all the others, when you're in the library browsing, there are set shelves that staff can point to you that are book sales. Those are donated books that are great to add to your collection on your own bookshelf, to give as gift, to give to your kids. And they're usually $1, maybe $2, depends on the book. But it's such a bargain for a used book, and all those funds come back to the library to be that icing on the cake to help support special programs, special events.
That's great. And I love a book sale.
Yeah, don't we all? I actually do too. So.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, I cannot thank you enough. This has been wonderful. And you know, folks, I have to tell you, I've been a bad girl because I am on this committee and I've missed meetings, and I don't think I'm going to miss any more meetings. I'm going to try really hard to get to them. It has been such a pleasure. Please tell everybody who you are, what you do, and once again, thank you.
Yeah. Well, again, I am Patricia Dew, Brunswick County Library Director, and it's been great being here tonight.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate you coming in. Who's on next week, Mary?
I just wanted to tell everybody to listen in next week. We have Frank Eiler, who is our state representative, and he is running for re-election, and he will have lots of information to share with us.
So that'll be an exciting show.
It will. Thank you so much. Good night, everybody. Tune in again to All Things Brunswick.
Have a good night, everybody.